Hi, welcome to my channel Ruby Stedman. In this video I want to teach you how to loom knit this toddler sweater. It's very easy to do and is done with leftover yarn from other projects. And here is the list of material you're gonna need to make it. To make this baby sweater, I'm gonna use leftover yarn that I have from other projects. I have 171 grams in here. And I have another little pieces of these two colors just in case I need some more. And these are just leftover. What I did is I started winding them up the caramel, and I wound up for 25 times, and then I cut the yarn there, and I did attach the blue, and I wound up 25 times, and then I cut with the caramel, and that's what I did to try to have the stripe at the same width. Okay, but these are just leftover. I'm trying to use them all to make a space for my new yarn. You're gonna need a crochet hook, a loom hook, tapestry needle and scissors, and I have this little tube here to pass my yarn through in order to use it to wrap my yarn. It's much faster and easy with this. We're starting with a slip knot in this peg on the outside. So we're gonna start by wrapping our yarn around the first peg to the inside, like so, and then you go to the peg on the top, and then the one on the bottom, the one on the top, the bottom, top, bottom, top, and you're going to do this all the way to the end. You're passing your yarn through all the pegs, and with this little tube it's really easy, and this is what it looks like. Okay, all the way to the end. Once you finish here, you're gonna end up here in the top, and with the crochet hook I'm gonna pass through under these two. I'm gonna pass the yarn under and bring it up, and I have a loop. So don't do this loop too tight, because if you do them too tight, your sweater and the bottom don't gonna have any giving, so don't gonna be stretchy. So you want to do this a little bit loose in here, but not too loose. Okay, so now you have this loop and the yarn, so you're gonna go with the hook, go under those two next strand of yarn, pass your yarn through and through that loop. Okay, we're creating this, it's like a chain to secure this stitch. Again, you have that loop, you go under the next two, pass your yarn through and pass it through that loop. Again, you're doing this, and you see mine are nice and loose. Okay, I don't want this to be too tight, so I'll go to the next two. You see these next two here, and I pass the yarn under those two and pass it through that loop, and it looks like a chain in here. So you're gonna do this all the way to the end, and this row is just the base row. I don't count this one apart at the 7th row that I'm gonna do. Okay, this is just to secure this row. So I will meet you here at the end. Here at the end, you only will have one strand, so you're gonna remove your slip knot to create the second one. You're gonna put it straight up, and then you're gonna bring your hook under those two strands of yarn, and you're gonna pass your yarn through the loop, and now you're gonna pass the tail through that last loop. Okay, here you will do a double knot to secure that yarn. Okay, we're gonna do 2 stitches in here, And the first one is the moss stitch, and the second one is the fish scale. So I know them by those names in Spanish. So I don't know if in English I have a different name. So that's the name that I know them for. So we're gonna grab our yarn and we're gonna wrap around this first post or peg like this, okay? Like doing an E, and leaving one without any. And then on the opposite side of that one, this one is empty because that will be work in the way back. So look, you see? You wrap it around from right to left, from right to left. You see? If you get a little tube like this, it's amazing how easy it is to work with and fast. You come to this one on the top here, you bring it straight, and you're gonna do wrap around like this, and they go back here, you see? Once I get to the end, I will undo this and I'll show you one more time how to do, and this will be for the rice stitch, rice. It does in Spanish, moss stitch in English. And I'm done in here, you see? You have two strands, and this pegs in here, and two in the other side in here, okay? So I'm gonna pull them all, and I'll show you one more time, okay? So what we're gonna do here, you see, you have the yarn right in the middle, so you're gonna bring here through the center and wrap around that one, and skip the one in the front and go to the next one, wrap, skip that one in the front, go to the next one and wrap, skip that one and go to the next one and wrap, skip that one and go to the next one and wrap. And again, you're going to continue wrapping like you're doing in E, you see, all the way to the end. Come here to the one and the last one on the other side, and you're going to bring it straight, and you're going to wrap around, and then you go wrapping around and the way back, and the way back. Get to the last one, you hold it right here, and you have done your second no second row, is the first row, because you have two on each, two strands on each peg, okay? It'll look like this in the top. So here we're gonna pass the one under through the one on the top, the one under through the one on the top, like so. And I always like to do a few in the beginning and a few at the end to secure my yarn both ends, okay? So you have to make sure that you only have one strand on each peg when you finish, and this will be row number 1. To finish row number 1, and remember to keep track of the amount of rows that you are doing, that way you know how many you need to do for the other piece, because they have to be exactly the same. You don't want to have 1 or 2 rows extra in this one and less in the other one, that they're not even. At least the stitch has to be even, no matter if the stripe are not. So here you finish, and your yarn is in the inside, so you're going to bring it straight to the peg in front, and you're going to wrap around. You go to the opposite side, you skip that one and go to the next one, you skip this one in the front and go to the next one, skip that one in the front and go to the next one, skip this one, go to the next one, and like so you're going to continue wrapping it around all the way to the end. I try to lift my loom that way you guys can see better. You see, and here and here, here, all the way to the end. You get to the last one here, and again you go straight to the next one, and you go through the inside, wrap around, and then go to the one on the opposite side that you left without any yarn, and go to the opposite side like so. And you're forming a design here again exactly the same that you did in the row before. You always have to keep track if it looks exactly the same. Okay, so you're going to continue doing this all the way to the end. And you have 2 strands in this side and 2 strands in the other side. Okay, here you're going to finish from the outside end, and then you're going to grab the strand underneath and pass it through the top and cast it off. The same in the other one. And you do this here and here, and you're going to continue doing this all the way to the end, and this will be row number 2. So I will show you one more time how to do this stitch, and you have to do this for 7 rows, and in row number 8 we'll be changing our stitch. Okay, now row number 3. You see, always the yarn had to be in the inside here. You're gonna go straight to the next peg, wrap around that peg, and go this one free, and go to the next one, wrap around that one. If this one free, go to the next one. This one free, go to the next one, and always in the opposite side you leave that one free. Okay, until you come back wrapping around that one. Here from outside in, you go straight to the next one. From inside out you wrap around, and you go now in the opposite side, wrapping around. And with this tube is really fast. Like in an afternoon you can do this little sweater. You'll be surprised how fast. This one is stuck here. You come back here from the outside in, hold it right here, and you see you get the design. All you have to see that you have the right design in the top to make sure you're doing the right stitch. So you bring the bottom up, cast it off, and you're going to continue doing this for 7 rows, and row number 8 will change our stitch. Okay, it's very easy and fast. This is what I look like after 5 rows. I had to do 2 more. It grows really quick. So 2 more rows and we'll change the stitches. Here I finished my 7th row, and it's a very nice and stretchy stitch. Okay, so now we're gonna change stitches. I'm gonna try to put this like this, that way you can see better. Okay, this one is very easy and fast to do. So you finish here in the center, and this time you're gonna come through the outside end, and you go to the post in front, and from the outside in. This time we're gonna pass it through every single post, and it's exactly the same as the base row that we did. You see? Yes, nice and easy and fast. Every single peg is being wrapped. Okay? Until you get to the end here, and come to this one and wrap, and here you're gonna pass the one in the bottom to the top, cast it off, and this one here, and I'm gonna do the same in here to secure the stitch, and you're gonna continue doing this all the way to the end. So this row are counted as one row this way, the other row that way. So this is from number 1 of 26. So when you had your tail in the right side, you are doing an odd number, and when you had the tail on the left side, where you had that peg, you had the even number. So row number 1 is this way, row number 2 is that way, row number 3 this way, and row number 4 that way, like back and forth, because you're only wrapping once, because you already have one strand in the bottom. Okay, so it's very easy to do. You're gonna continue doing this, and I will show you how you're gonna go from this side to the other. Row number 1. Now I'm gonna do row number 2, and you're gonna go straight here to the peg in the bottom and wrap around and go to the one on the top, and then you're gonna continue wrapping around every single peg. Okay, so if you look at your row underneath and the one you're doing at the top, the one underneath, they go this way, and this one at the top, they go that way, and that is what we want for this stitch. Okay, you see they cross in different directions. You see from here to these two, this one is coming this way, and here this one to these two are going that way. Okay, so it had to be like that. Because if they are facing the same way, the stitch will be not the same. Okay, so you're gonna finish here, and you go through the inside out, and you're gonna hold this here, and then you're gonna cast off your stitches here, and this one's in here, and then you can continue casting off row number 2. And you see row number 2, your strand of yarn is in this side. Okay, here we're gonna start row number 3. The yarn is in the outside, so you're gonna bring it straight down. You're gonna bring it up and wrap around the one on the top, and then you'll start wrapping around in every single peg. And as you see, you're working out again like the row number 1 and this way. Okay, opposite. So it looks like an X if you look straight between this strand and the one underneath. It's like an X. Okay. So you're gonna continue wrapping every single peg all the way to the end. You bring it from the inside out. You always have to finish out, and you're gonna grab the one under and cast it off. These two. Do the same in here, and continue casting off until you get to the end. And I will show you one more time how to do the stitch, and then you can continue by yourself. Now we're going to do row number 4, and again we are on the outside, so we're going to wrap around the first one from the outside in, go to the one on the top from the outside in, and then every single one. Okay, so this is what we're going to do until we have 26 rows. So here from the outside, inside out, and you only have to finish in the outside. Okay, you're going to hold your yarn there, and you're going to cast off these 2 and 3. And the other one, and then you can cast off all the stitches. So now you're going to work the rest of your stitches until you have your 26 row. Okay, you have to finish with the strand of yarn and this side here. Okay, so it grows really fast and it's very easy to do. Here I did 26 row plus these 7. I have 33 row in total. So you see here, when you change color, you see it here, and then here, and a little bit in here. You see this stitch is a little bit different than the one that I made for the scarf, so you can see the change of color, but it still look nice to be made of leftover yarn and look fantastic. So let's start casting off our stitches. The same way you're gonna cast off here, you're gonna do for the other pieces. So you're gonna bring the one from the top to the one on the bottom here, and you're going to double them up like so. You see, every single one until you get to the end. Okay, here I have them all in this row of pegs, so they are double. You have 2 strands. So here you're going to start by passing the one in the bottom through the one in the top, the one in the bottom to the one in the top, and you're going to continue doing this all the way to the end. Okay, you're going to have just 1 strand in each. When you finish, you will have just 1 strand in each one, and then now we're going to use the crochet hook that you use to do this part in here. To cast off the stitches, you will pass the first one to the hook, and then you pass the second one, and then you're going to pass the first one to the top of the second one, and you cast off that stitch, and you're going to continue doing that all the way to the end, and you're going to end up with only 1 loop on your hook. You have to make sure that your stitches are nice and loose. And we're starting all of these in the opposite side of the tail, because the tail is the one that's going to help you finish this cast off. Okay, here I only have 1 left, so I'm going to cut a tail long enough for sewing the little bit of shoulder, and I'm going to pass this through here and pull that tail, and we have to do now the other one. This is what it looks like once you finish. It's nice and stretchy. And in here, where we started with that securing the stitches, is stretch, but no in a way that will, you know, after a few uses it will look horrible, you know, like a stretch and never come back to place. With this, always come back to place. Okay, so now you have to do another part exactly like this one. Well, not exactly as this one if you don't want to. I'm referring to the colors. If you like and you're afraid that the stripe don't want to be exactly the same for the other piece, you can do just 1 color in the back, or you can do the opposite, these ones with the blue, these ones with the caramel, and like so. I'm gonna check if I have enough of 1 color to do the back, just 1 solid color, and then the arms with a little bit of stripes. But I will do that off camera and I will show you when I'm done that part. So it's 7 row in here and 26 in this one here. Here I did the back, and I did it in the caramel color, and I did one of the sleeve, and what I did the border on blue and the rest in caramel. That way it's even, the 2 of them when I made them, so the stripe will be perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do the sleeve. For the sleeve, we're going to start exactly the same as we start the body of the little sweater. We're going to start with a slip knot and the border row. Okay, so I'm going to work only in 12 pegs. If you want it bigger, you can work on more. So you're going to wrap around like this in 12 pegs. You see, because I'm not using the little tube right now, it's easier for them to fall off the pegs. So you're gonna do it for 12 pegs. Like I said, you want it bigger, you can do more pegs. Here I finished. I have my 12 loops. Let me lower the camera a little bit, that way you can see better. And what I'm gonna do is with my crochet hook, I'm gonna pass the hook under those two first strands of yarn, and I'm gonna pass the yarn through, and I have my first loop here, and we are doing exactly the same as we did the other ones. Pass it under two, you see these two here, and pass it through that loop, and continue doing this all the way to the end. And this row, I don't count this row, this is just the base row. So what I did for my sleeve was I did 5 rows of the moss stitch, and the rest is done with the fish scale stitch, so that I know them by that name. Maybe you know them by different name. Different stitches is called different name in different places. Okay, so you're going to continue doing this all the way to the end. Okay, I got to the end, and I'm going to remove this loop, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it through under the strand that I'm working here like this straight, and I'm going to hold it right here, and at the same time I'm going to hold this one here, and you're going to pass under those two, and you're going to pass the one you're working with through that loop, and then you're going to let that one go, and you're going to grab the one that you start with, the tail, and you're going to pass it through that loop, and you're going to do a knot in here, okay, to secure that tail in the center. Once you secure this here with this knot, you're going to do the moss stitch. So you're going to come straight from inside out, and you're going to wrap it around. You skip the one in the top and go to the next one and wrap it from the inside out. Again, this one, you skip that one and you go to the next one. You skip that one, you go to the next one. You skip that one and you go to the next one. Skip that one and go to the next one. And like so, you're going to continue all the way, skipping always the one and the front are the one that you just wrap around. Okay, so you're going to come here, we're almost on the last one, and you're going to go to the last one, and you're going to go straight, you see, through the inside to the next one, wrap around and go to the one that you left without working, and you're going to wrap all the way back. It's exactly the same as we did for the body of the sweater. Okay, from the outside in, hold it right here, and you're gonna grab your hook, and you're gonna start casting off the one under, pass through the one in the top again. So you're gonna do this for 5 rows. That's what I did for this is row number 1, and that's what I did for my sleeve here. So you have to do this for 5 rows. Once you finish here, your yarn always will be with this stitch and the inside. So you're gonna bring it straight to the next peg, you see, and you're gonna wrap this one from the inside out. You're gonna skip this one and go to the next one and wrap around. Skip this one and go to the next one and wrap around. Skip this one and go to the next one. Skip that one, go to the next one, and again you're gonna continue doing this for 5 rows. Each time I finish a row, I write it down. That way I know how many I have. Okay, so I will do this off camera, and I will show you how we're gonna do the change of color and the stitches. Here I finished row number 5, and if you're gonna change color, you'll cut your yarn here and do a knot very close in here. And if you're working with the same color, just continue working with this stitch without cutting your yarn. Okay, here I'm gonna do the Russian knot to attach these two ends. So it's a very easy way to secure the two tails. Here I did my Russian knot like I show you, but in here with the blue, once I pass it through, went back and I wrap around that stitch and went back again with the blue and the blue, okay, to secure that stitch very well in there. So now we're gonna do the fish scale stitch, and you're gonna go straight. The yarn is in this side, but you're gonna go to the outside here and you bring it straight here, and you go back to this one here. Now we're gonna work all the pegs until the end. I put down my camera a little bit, that way you can see a little bit better. So you want to do this in all the pegs, and you'll finish in the outside here. And this will be row number 1, because we're working all the pegs. So like this, you secure those first stitches, and you can go to your yarn, and you're going to continue casting off. And I will show you one more time the way back from here back, and you can continue by yourself until you have 24 rows, and then we cast off. Okay, here we finish in the outside, so you're gonna go straight to the next one, wrap around that one, and go to the one on the top, wrap around that one, and you're gonna wrap around every single one. And in the row before, they are in this angle, and now they are in this angle. So let me show you here. You have to do it like that, that way your stitch look like this in here. Okay, so if you hear any banging or any hammering noise, is that they are removing my old roof, and they will put the new one tomorrow. So that's the noise. You're going to continue doing this all the way, and you see, and the last one to the outside. And now you're going to cast off from here, row number 2. Like this, we're going to cast off this row. Secure the stitches first before you let go to your yarn. And you're going to continue doing this until you have 24 rows of the desired length. Okay, repeating those 2 rows. Here I want to show you one more time. When you finish, each time your yarn is in the outside, so you're going to bring it straight to the next peg in front, straight, wrap around the one in the top, the first one, then you continue working all your pegs. Okay, here I have my 24 rows. Now I'm gonna start casting off. So I'm gonna pass this one in the back, the one in the front, like this. Okay, you're going to pass them all to the one in here. Careful not to lose any. Here I pass them all to the front here. Now I'm gonna start casting off the stitch So I'm gonna leave one on each peg, okay? Now with the crochet hook, you're gonna start passing, grabbing these two, passing the one in the front under the one in the back like that, and you're gonna cast off all the stitches this way. Careful not to lose any, okay? And nice and loose. Once you finish, you will have one loop. You're gonna chain one, and you're gonna cut the yarn, leaving a tail to sew here the sleeve under the arm, okay? Now with this tail that you left here, you're gonna sew on the shoulder like the width of 3 fingers here, and the same on the other side. You're gonna sew like 3 in here, okay? With this tail. Here I'm gonna show you how I did this side here, okay? So when you sew here, the colors don't look that big, but they stretch, you see? So it's very nice and stretchy. Here we're gonna start sewing at the end. You're gonna secure the end very well, and then after that you're gonna go in between the stitches sideways like this, and you're gonna pass your yarn. The same on the other side, and you're gonna continue until you have the width of 3 fingers on each shoulder. Once you finish with the shoulder, we're gonna start with the sleeves, and the color will look like this, but it stretch a lot, so no problem. So we're gonna start sewing here from the center, okay? So you're gonna grab your sleeve, you're gonna fold it in half like this, and you're gonna mark the center, and you're gonna place it here in the shoulder, and you're gonna sew from the center here and from the center here. But you're gonna stretch the sleeve, this part a little bit, okay? And the same on the other side. You're gonna stretch it a little bit, because if you don't, it's a very tiny sleeve, okay? You have to do this. And I like to sew with a separate strand of yarn from the center. That way it's even in both ends. And with this tail, I will close the sleeve underneath the arm, okay? So you start here in the center, and you have to secure your yarn here, and leaving a tail long enough for sewing the other side, okay? So I secure my yarn here, and exactly the same way that I show you how to sew here in the shoulder, you will do in here and in the other side. So you see, this is nice and secure here for me to sew this way. So do that in both the sleeve. We close it under the arm, and then it's only to close the side of the sweater. I already sewed together this part here and here, and you don't see a seam here. So go ahead and do exactly the same way that I show you how to sew here. I did it in here. So I'll do the same to the other side, and I will show you the end result. I have 51 grams left on total. So like you see, I hardly use any yarn. So you can use it from leftover yarn, or you can use a new ball. It's up to you. This is what it looked like from the back, and it looked fantastic. And now I'll show you the front. This is amazing. Look how nice this looks. And it's unbelievable that it's just from leftover yarn. This will fit around from 1 to 3 years old. So I hope you guys like it, and give it a thumbs up. And subscribe to my channel if you are not already a subscriber. And if you make this piece and you want to send me some pictures, you can do it through my Facebook page, Ruby Stedman, or you can find me in my Instagram, Ruby Stedman Crochet. Please share my videos with friends and family, that way you help me grow here in YouTube. I wish you have a beautiful day. Bye.